Pete the Cat Scuba-Cat by James Dean. How are you today, my friends? How are you today? I hope that you're okay, my friends. Oh, I just want to make sure that my head's in the frame. So I'll see you again in a few seconds, my friends. Boom, boom. Hi, how are you? Look at what happened on Friday. So I was attempting, by the way, I'm really happy that you're here. I hope you had a lovely weekend. I was able to finish one ball from the whole jumbled up bit of yarn on Friday. When I thought I was recording part of the wild things and it didn't happen. Anyway, the yarn had snapped and I was left with more. So I started my own brand new, look at how adorable. I started a very little new ball of yarn. And it's very exciting. And I'll get through this ball of yarn and hopefully Miss Jen will have another ball of yarn. But it's a little bit harder because this ball is so small. That's a rhyme. This ball is so small that I don't want to drop it at all. And if I do, it will fall and unravel. And I don't want that to happen, y'all. Well, anyway. So we're starting a new ball of yarn, and I would like to speak with Red Squirrel. Would you like to speak with Red Squirrel? It's very exciting to speak with Red Squirrel. Hi, Red Squirrel. Hi! So I picked a book today called Pete the Cat Scuba-Cat. Ooh, I love scuba. You love scuba diving, huh, Red Squirrel? Yep. Can I share something with you? So I've been afraid of water my entire life. I didn't learn how to swim until I was in my 20s. Wow! I thought every human learned how to swim very young. Well, not every human learns how to swim very young. And it wasn't until very recently, when I was in my 40s, that I was even kind of comfortable in the water. And I have to tell you, Pete the Cat is going scuba diving. Do you know what scuba means? I do. Well, why don't you tell everyone what it means? It means self-contained breathing apparatus. Ooh, good for you, Red Squirrel. Didn't know you knew that. I know a lot of things. Well, apparently you do know a lot of things. And scuba is, of course, when a person wears an oxygen tank on their back and they wear a face mask and they breathe the oxygen as they go underwater. Well, I panic when I tried to scuba once, and I panicked and I hyperventilated. And do you know what happens when you breathe too much like that? You pass out. You do. You pass out because you're not getting enough oxygen. Anyway, I had a lifelong fear of water my entire life, and I can't scuba dive. So I want to read this book about Pete the Cat. It used to be the case I would get very angry and jealous at people who were comfortable in the water, but now I just understand that I am who I am and you are who you are. Can I share something with you, Mr. Greg? Yeah, you can share something with me and with everybody. I'm afraid of something you would have no idea a red squirrel would be afraid of. What's that? I'm afraid of heights. Red Squirrel, you're afraid of heights? Yep. But don't you have to climb up into trees and out onto branches? I sure do. And I needed about 2 years before I was completely comfortable climbing up into trees. Fortunately, I had very kind friends, and my parents were very gentle and understanding, and they gently nudged me forward until now I'm very comfortable at heights, but still in my head I get a little afraid sometimes. You get a little afraid of heights sometimes as a red squirrel, but you had friends and a family who supported you. Mm-hmm. And just like my mom was very supportive of me, and I eventually learned how to swim. I'm very impressed, Red Squirrel, because climbing trees seems a very important skill for squirrels. It is, and it took you a little bit of time, and you still don't feel 100% comfortable all the time, right? Right. Is there anything that you're afraid of that maybe a lot of people aren't or don't seem to be afraid of? Yeah, anything? Sometimes I'm still afraid of the dark. Me too. Yeah. I didn't learn how to ride a bike until I was in my 30s, Red Squirrel. Wow! I know. There were so many things I was afraid of, and I didn't learn how to do until much later in life. I'm happy that I learned those things, but if I hadn't, I still have people that love me and care about me. Yeah, me too. And you too, I hope so as well. Whatever it is that brings you fear, that really does matter, that fear. That's a really valid emotion, right, Red Squirrel? Absolutely. Makes your heart beat faster, and sometimes the black parts of your eyes, those are called pupils, get bigger, and you sweat, and you just feel so worried and like you want to cry and run away. Sometimes you want to run away, right? Right. Sometimes you feel like you want to fight back. Yes. And sometimes you just freeze. Right. Yeah. Well, do you think we should read the book, Red Squirrel? Yippers! Okay, I'm going to put you down over there in your new home, over in the closet, with all of the books and the yarn. Do you like it over there, Red Squirrel? I love it! And what if I bring Porcupine over today so he can keep you company? Yeah! All right, I'm going to sit you over here. Hey, Perry.
Yep.
What do you think about going over here and hanging out with Red Squirrel in the closet?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, fantastic. You want to give me 5? Thank you so much.
See you.
See you later, Perry. All right, let's repeat the Cat Scuba-Cat. And I am just going to enjoy watching Pete the cat go underwater, and instead of feeling very nervous for him and for me. It's a really beautiful book. Let's read it. Yep. Ooh, I hit the camera. I always hit the camera, don't I? Pete the cat is excited. He is going scuba diving. He puts on his mask and his fins, and he has a tank full of air. He hopes to see lots of fish. Yeah, Mr. Greg could not do that. How beautiful. All right, Pete the cat, here you go. If you're lucky, you might see a seahorse, says Captain Joe. A seahorse, says Pete. I can't wait. I never saw one before. I've seen a seahorse at the zoo, at the aquarium, but I've never seen a seahorse in real life. Their ridges look just like a horse's mane, says Captain Joe. Groovy, says Pete. Pete jumps into the water. Splash! Down, down, down he goes. Up, up, up go the bubbles. Pete looks for a seahorse. Hey, Pete, he's right behind you. But Pete can't see him. He sees a swordfish. Pete swims out of his way. I'd be a little bit concerned about that very long, sharp nose. Pete waves to a stingray. It has a long, skinny tail. That's not a seahorse, thinks Pete. Pete looks high and low for the seahorse. Then he feels a tickle. Pete sees a school of fish. They all look alike, except for one. See, there's a bunch of pink fish and one green one following. Oh, he puffs up. It is a blowfish. It is not a seahorse. A boom, 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 boom. Where could one be? Pete looks in the rocks. Who is that? Of course, we know where the seahorse is. But this is an octopus.
He has 8 legs. It is not a seahorse. Boom, 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 boom. Pete feels a tickle. What could it be? We know. Pete turns. He sees a cave. Is there a seahorse inside? I don't know. If he turned around and asked the seahorse, he might know. Pete sees a crab with claws. Seahorse does not have claws, Pete thinks. This cave is getting darker. Pete feels a tickle. Then he sees an eel. Pete swims past it. It is too long to be a seahorse. Oh no! It is too dark to see. How will Pete get out? Boom, 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 boom. Pete sees a jellyfish. It glows in the dark. Now Pete can see. Wow! Pete is almost out of the cave. He sees an angelfish. It is very colorful. Pete is out of the cave. So why is it so dark? Pete is in a shadow. Can you imagine what that shadow is? It does look like a whale. He's in the shadow of a whale. Yikes! Boom, 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 boom. Pete wishes he could jump on a seahorse and ride away. Well, Pete hops on a sea turtle instead. It takes him to the boat. How cool! I did not see a seahorse, thinks Pete, and he feels a tickle on his tail. A seahorse, cries Pete. What a surprise! But it was not a surprise to us, was it? No way. You were with me all along, says Pete. What a cool adventure! A boom, 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 boom. There was an eel and an angelfish, a seahorse and an octopus. There was a pufferfish and a swordfish. There was an eel and an octopus and a whale and a crab and a seahorse. It kind of does look like a horse's mane on the back, doesn't it? Ba-doom, boom. Wow, that was really fun. I had so much fun reading that and watching that. I didn't feel any anxiety. I felt no worry, mainly because I knew I wasn't the one who was underwater, and I was really able to enjoy Pete's adventure. I hope you enjoyed Pete's adventure, and I look forward to enjoying another adventure with you tomorrow, perhaps with Perry, okay, and perhaps with Red Squirrel, cool, maybe even Robin. And I do have a new friend who hasn't come out to hang with us yet. She's quite awesome. Well, anyway, I hope you have a lovely evening. I will continue to unravel yarn, and you will continue on your way. Mwah. Boom, 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 boom. I'm gonna turn off the camera, say goodbye now. Boom, ba boom.